نعم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري ويشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. We have been concentrating on the importance of establishing our belief especially in God, in the absolute being, and the realm of existence that our existence depends on, or the source of our existence is another realm of existence. Our existence is temporal, contingent, and we understand that we belong to an eternal, absolute existence of the Creator. So it doesn't mean that we are done with belief matters completely, but while we are really working on the belief matters to establish our foundations of our belief, we have to also take it into our personal practice of disbelief, which is difficult because the usual trend among the believers is when we say we believe in God and I'm convinced about it, and we think that we are done with belief in God. And when we talk about the practical side of belief, we jump into practice of rituals. That is the very common trend. It doesn't mean that it is wrong to practice the rituals, not at all. But there are stages. First, we have to establish the belief, and we have to establish our worldview, our understanding of our belief on or according to that belief in God, or that belief in the existence of hereafter, that belief in the existence of angels, to shape our worldview, our understanding of our own existence, according to the foundations or fundamentals of belief. That is the missing dimension. I have been thinking about it, of course, not like everybody else. How can I have a calm, satisfied, not only life, but satisfied understanding of my being in this world? That is the main problem of, I believe, everybody has. How can I deal with my existence? That's the main problem. So the easy way is just to say that God created me and I am done, finished. I attribute my existence to God, and that I think that I am a believer in God, so I'm saved, or I can manage my life now easily. That's not the case at all. That's impossible. You may say, or I may say, that my existence belongs to another, let's say, eternal being. I'm satisfied about it. That's the stage we are going to talk now. I'm satisfied about it. So, how about my life, my practical life? How am I going to deal with my life problems? If something happens to me, I get disappointed. And I say, okay, God created me, that's all right. Okay, God is my master, but how can I make sure that this master really, really takes care of me? How can I make sure this? And how can I really attach my being to him? Attach my being to him. How can I attach my senses to him? We have a lot of considerations, concerns in our life, expectations, worries, you know, and there are many, many types of creation in the world, maybe directly created by the owner of the universe, God, or through human interference misuse of the human free will, and caused a lot of undesired, maybe hurting phenomena, of events taking place. So I find it difficult to relate all these matters which are not pleasant at first hand. At the first glance, when you first look at them, they are not pleasant. I find difficult to handle with this case by referring that they are created by God. It is not easy to apply one's belief in his life, in his real life, not actions. Actions are different. Actions will follow afterwards. We have to develop our minds. We have to really satisfy our hearts, and then and then it, it transfers itself into action. For example, if I am not happy with anything, I cannot smile. Even if something happens hurtful, if I smile, they will say, you are hypocrite. Contradiction. Because I'm not happy with the case. Yeah, it's something, let's say, a car overrun a cat. Oh, here, not a cat, usually, it's squirrels. Squirrel. And you look at it, oh, I am happy with my creator. Look at this one. Smashed. No one does that. If someone does this, everybody will say this man must be sadist, or something is wrong mentally or emotionally. So what is inside us, what really remains or sits in our hearts and feelings, reflects in our action. The critical point is there, and it is a long discussion among the scholars. When I perform my rituals, Without solving my internal problems, I'm trying to avoid to use the spiritual, because it has another connotation. So that is another time. So my internal problems, my spirit, my conscience, my conscious, my mind, then the actions become superficial. Just take the case simple. I wouldn't say really totally hypocritical, but looks like cheating myself. Even I'm being hypocrite to myself. I am not showing off when I pray or when I fast and when I do some good actions according to the rituals of any requirements of any religion. I feel okay from my side because I'm not showing off. I'm doing it sincerely, I think. That's what I think. But in reality, I am doing something based on something that I'm not happy with and I'm not satisfied with. So I have to go deeper. Being convinced about the creatorship of God, of the one who created the universe, is not enough to solve my personal problems, my internal problems. For example, who can be happy with God who creates death for his or her mother? Anybody? I'm very happy with God who created death for my mother and gave her death. It means she died. I'm very happy. It needs a great effort to see the reality and interpret and understand what lies behind this reality, behind the death of my mother. Let's assume that she's going to die unexpectedly. When she gets very old, and we say, hey, it's okay now. She was over 90 anyways, years old. But it's a justification of death, not necessarily the existence of death. Do you understand the difference? If someone is really suffering from a very incurable, heavy, and hurting illness, we justify it because she wasn't really taking any pleasure from living in this world anyways. So it's better for her to die than be subject to continuous a kind of pain. But comparatively younger person dies unexpectedly, we find it difficult. We say, okay, it's God's decision, but it hurts. Right? Do you agree?
Yes.
It hurts. So we start questioning this side of the matter, the transient side of the matter. Everything is beautiful in their existence, but subject to transience. And I may be really subject to some injustice. Some people may be subject to some injustice. And we say, this should not happen. We rebel. This should not happen. Oh, God is just, so he shouldn't let this happen. So he shouldn't let this happen. Why the people keep saying that if some calamities happen, We say God is merciful, God is compassionate, God is munificent. Okay. But you must be familiar with this expression saying that when this calamity was happening, where was God? Are you familiar with that? Yeah. Anything. Where was God? He was compassionate with the children, the elderly, or anyway, innocent people were being killed under the attack of this, whatever the calamity is. Maybe the natural calamity is created directly or through human interference. The people are killing each other in a war, for example, which I won't know what's happening. So saying that I am created by God is not enough, although it's necessary but not efficient. Do we agree? So we have to go a kind of another layer of exploration where I will feel that, look, I have to really understand something else. I need to understand another layer of existence. So, inshallah, we will start, Kadwini, we will start going into deep and discussion in under the commentary. It's a long commentary, very long commentary on the verse, which is not the whole verse, the concluding part of the verse, only concluding part, the conclusion of the verse actually, which is in Arabic, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. The translation is here, for us, God suffices. And he is the best disposer of affairs. Whatever he does the best for me. Of course, it's easy to say, but it's not easy to grasp the meaning, and especially basing it on our observation in the world, at any layer of the creation. Say that, oh yeah, he is the best disposer of affairs, or taking care of human needs, taking care of the needs of other beings. He is the best one. So we have to understand that. So the author presents or starts the commentary by giving an example from his own sorrows, own problems, personal problems. So I took it from the text here. I just omitted the special reference to special cases, which is not related to us. I usually prefer the general one. So note, it says, peculiar to myself, I took the form of a significant discussion governed by the feelings. Governed by the feelings. Feelings. Now, reason may understand independent, but alongside the reason, feelings must be also satisfied or must understand. So the discussion will be around the reason, the feelings, sorry. Yeah, by the feelings. Governed by the feelings. And an animated conversation about belief, a secret discourse of the heart. Inside. Secret discourse of the heart. It was healing for many various deep ills. It means the feelings and the heart are really ill. Those who are completely in harmony and agreement with me may understand it completely. Otherwise, it will not be entirely appreciated. It means the author is asking us, calling us actually, to walk with him and to share the feelings. It means really sympathy, yeah, to sympathize his feelings and try to develop, and if it is the right usage, empathy with his feelings. It means think that I have the same feeling. So I looked straight to my heart. Sorry, that's correct. I looked straight to my heart and I saw my spirit. No, it is not heart and spirit are speaking, no, in operation or administering, governing the conversation. I saw that dominant in me were an overpowering desire for immortality. Overpowering desire for immortality. An intense love of existence. A great yearning for life. Together with an infinite impotence and endless want. First, maybe if we were doing a meditation class, so we should stop here and meditate. Do we really feel it? Do we really feel it? This one, this seems to be, in reality, in my real life, contradictory. Because on the one hand, I have desire for immortality, and not immortality doesn't mean that I will get old. No, I shouldn't get old. I shouldn't lose any human quality, any of my human qualities. And it must be immortal. An intense love for existence, love of existence, I must exist. I shouldn't disappear from existence. No. Okay? And a great yearning for life, that's one side of human reality. Another side is an infinite impotence. I can't really keep the existence of anything infinitely. I can't really the existence of anything. Can you? Well, can anybody? Anything. And an endless want. And if they ask me, if somebody asks me, okay, I will give you whatever you want, your list never ends. Because not only I want to be happy and finish it, what do you want? In order to be happy, what do you want? I want this, I want this, I want this. That's why people usually, not everybody though, but this is the common trend in human nature. They accumulate, yeah, they gather, they gather. The more they get, the more they feel the need for the more, for the more. Not only for their children, now they start thinking about their grandchildren. They start thinking about, and also not only once upon a time, I met a person who was somehow worldwide rich. He had a house in the place where he lived. I don't want to mention the place. And then he had an independent house in London. He had an independent house in Paris, and another one in somewhere in the east coast of America, somewhere in the west coast of America. So rich. So they were while he was there, he wasn't there. People look after the house. There he was employed. He employed them. They were taking care of that. Once a year or so, he will come and stay in his house. There is no end. If he had some trades with Japan, he would tell. I don't know. Maybe he had one in Tokyo as well. Everywhere, Shanghai, whatever. There's no end. This is only the house, not the helicopter or the plane, and there's no end. And on the other hand, I can't guarantee anything from myself. Temporarily, I may have all the houses, but I know that they are temporary. Can I sustain them? Impossible. Impossible. This contradiction really puts anybody in a dilemma. How can I solve this? So, but an awesome transience was extinguishing the immortality. It means there is no way to be immortal. Suffering that state of mind, I exclaimed, like the sorrowing poet, a poet, and he's just quoting from a poet, while my heart desires its immortality, reality wants the passing of my body. I am afflicted with an incurable ill which not even Luqman could cure. Luqman is a significant name that he was famous for providing the cure for every illness in this world. So that it represents this. There's no need to know who he is. Doesn't matter. The most powerful man, most effective doctor. It means I am in a dilemma. No one can solve this dilemma in this world. So we have to really feel it. Do we have this? Most of the time, we are so much, I'm looking at you, we are so much lost. In this world, we think that we need only a promotion in my profession, or to get a job, or to get married, or to take care of my child, or if I have if I have some children, to make sure that they are getting good education, yeah, they are secure, yeah, they are warm if the weather is cold, like that. Yeah, and we think that that is human concern. It is nothing. As far as the human concern is concerned, it's nothing. Your own being requires great things. Your human qualities, we don't experience them because we just don't think about them. And it's the easy way. If you don't know, you are comfortable. You think you are comfortable. But it is not possible not to know when something happens. That's why when something happens that we don't like, we start panicking. When something happens that which how to say, hampers, prevents from our expectations to happen, to realize, then we get disappointed, we start questioning, start crying. We had a comfortable heart. What happened now? I was happy and I see my child or myself or my child is ill and suffering and crying and in pain, what do? You start questioning what's wrong with this child that he suffers. He's innocent. You start questioning. No. If someone suffers that we think that this person deserves it, we say, okay, he deserved it. How about the child? But for example, especially when we start thinking about our existence, our life, our desires of our heart and spirit, needs immortality, needs eternity, then we see no solution for it. We just take it easy by saying that, okay, God will take care of it. And I forget about it. Not because I am satisfied, as if I really transferred the load, the responsibility on somebody else. And I'm done. You know, I cannot do it, and I'm done. I have to have a very strong, satisfied heart as far as this matter, the problems, the human existential problems are concerned. So definitely they are all right. I have no trouble. Although they hurt, I don't want them to happen, but there is a solution. There's a solution for it. No, I bowed my head in despair. Oh, as the poet says here, no one can. I have some problems, so I want immortality, but my body is passing, and there is no cure in this world. It's incurable. So I bowed my head in despair. Suddenly the verse that for us God suffices and he is the best disposer of affairs came to my assistance, summoning me to read it with attention, but I try to get really infiltrate into the meaning, impenetrate into the meaning of the word, really what it says. So I recited it 500 times every day just to remind myself, what does it mean? What does it mean? Think, concentrate, contemplate on it, reflect on it, on every occasion. No, recitation must be done, or repeating of the recitation must be done in order to remind myself the content of the phrase I am using. If you don't really concentrate on the meaning of the phrase that you are using, just the tongue is repeating this word, is not really enough to help you. Maybe if you keep repeating, one day may come and say that, what am I doing really? What does it mean that I keep repeating this phrase or this verse or anything, a word, whatever? So he was reflecting on it, and he will share his reflections with us. The first degree of the luminous verse, well, stage by stage now he will go into the meaning of the verse. For us, God suffices. Now, this verse is the first layer of meaning he's going to share with us. So if you don't want to lose the trace of the text, would anybody like to read the text? What do you think? The first paragraph?
From this paper?
Yeah. So from the paper, so
The first degree?
well, yeah, in first paragraph, so we can go over it because my pronunciation is
All right.
so good that you may not really understand. So, okay, let's go over it and read once and see if you have any questions or we can go over it. I work with you, Sean.
The first degree of the luminous verse, for us God suffices. Because of a shadow in my essential being, of a manifestation of one of the names of the one of glory and perfection, who, possessing absolute perfection, is of himself, and for no other reason worthy of love. I had an innate desire for immortality, directed not to my own immortality, but to the existence, perfection, and immortality of that absolutely perfect one. However, due to heedlessness, that innate love had lost its way, become attached to the shadow and enamored of the mirror of immortality. Then the verse, for us God suffices, and he is the best disposer of affairs, raised the veil. I saw and felt and experienced at the degree of absolute certainty that the pleasure and happiness of my immortality lay exactly and in more perfect form in the mortality of the enduring one of perfection, in affirming my sustainer and God, in believing in him and submitting to him. For an undying truth was realized through his immortality. The insight of belief established that, quote, my essential being is the shadow of a divine name, which is both enduring and eternal, end quote.
So let's share all together. What are the main points that are attracted to your attention if you like to share here? Anything you'd like to say?
I have something. So first of all, he thinks or he believes that this desire for immortality is not his. It's a shadow or a reflection of an attribute or a quality of the one that he calls the one of glory and perfection, which I assume refers to the Creator. And that part.
Shall we go step by step? That is a very good point.
Sure.
Do we have the sense of immortality? Perfect immortality. Yeah, it means I have to be perfectly satisfied with my life and existence, and I have to be happy forever, and this happiness should not go at all. Do we feel that? So at the first stage, the author draws our attention. This desire is illegitimate or legitimate? This desire that I want to be eternal. Legitimate or illegitimate? Legitimate?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. Why is it legitimate? To want to be eternally happy, not to die, not to disappear from existence, and experience the perfect happiness. is right, is the right design. How the author explains that why it's the right design. How dare that you want to be immortal? Isn't that an imagination? It's not real. The author says, look, be careful. This sense is I think you emphasized on it, the shadow in my essential being, the shadow of a manifestation of one of the names of, let's say, my owner, my creator. If we know that, we should know that. If I did not have this sense, if I did not have, I would never look for the eternal source, immortal source. And I would never know that my owner is immortal because I would never have this concept. I think this is the foundational, if you like, cornerstone of the argument. Nothing wrong if you want to be eternally happy. Nothing wrong if you want to be eternal. Nothing wrong if you want everything good to be eternal. Nothing wrong with it. That is the way that my Creator provided the means for me to get to know Him. Because I will start, I'm a bit going further, I will start searching for the satisfaction of my need, that I need eternity and immortality. And ultimately, I will understand there is no way to get it in the universe. No way. No one got it. Even the pharaohs couldn't get it.
Can I try?
Sorry?
Can I try? Can I try?
Try.
Yeah.
Why not?
Get plastic surgery.
These are the signs that we want.
Yeah.
It's not the physical, if you like, appearance of this desire coming out of the heart and showing themselves on our physical body. But how long? And really, do you really feel that you are getting closer to the immortality? Or not 80 years, but make it 90? Yeah. And then, yeah, we know. But the essential part of the approach here in the interpretation, first, don't blame yourself that you want immortality. Don't blame yourself that you seek perfection. Don't blame yourself that you want everybody be satisfied in this world. Everything must be perfect. Yeah, don't blame yourself that you are yearning for an eternal happiness. It is innate, intrinsic in your being, and that is deliberately put there by your Maker in order to get to know Him. Because He knows that you will search for the cure in this world, for this need, to satisfy this need, the Creator. So gives us this impulse. He urges us, come on, investigate it. So there's no way. Yeah, there's no solution. No one, nothing. The huge universe is not enough just to satisfy one of my needs. The whole universe cannot help in any way. Cannot stop time, cannot stop me changing, cannot stop me from wearing out. Nothing. Even the whole galaxy get together. I know that they can't do anything. They are poor like me. So this is a sign from my creator that look for it, you will fail, and you will start investigating where did I get desire and how come that I have this desire. And I cannot solve it. It's beautiful. It is the best way of getting to know who your creator is, in fact. Because we think that the creator has created me, that's easy to say, and get rid of the problem. As if we start playing the role or the pretending that we have solved all our problems. But when something happens unexpectedly or not pleasurable, that we start panicking, we start complaining. And most of the people don't believe in the creator because they think that there is no really purpose, plan, conscious choice in my existence because I am not the product of a perfect creator. Just happens to be like this, and I always in dilemma. Yeah, contradiction. I want something, I cannot do it. You know, I am here to suffer. There's a lot of philosophers really struggled with this question. Who put me in this struggling, suffering position? So not a compassionate God can do it if such a concept exists at all. What they do, they deny. They say that's accidental because there is no perfection. There is no perfection that I desire to have. That's confusions. That's why I feel, that's my personal interpretation. Some people are comfortable with an theory, if you like, or understanding, says this order, perfect order, came out of chaos. Because it has within itself the chaotic structure. Why? I exist in my own existence. There is something that destroys my own existence, and I know I can stop. So this is the reason I feel underlying this kind of philosophers thinking that order came out of chaos. Because in itself there is chaotic factor. Do you get it? So
There's contradiction.
It's contradiction. Is that it must be chaotic then. So it happened to be accidentally, out of trillions, quadrillions, endless times of trial, if you like, at the end happened to be like that order. It makes sense because still the universe is in order, human body is in order, and human senses are somehow in order, but this order is destructive within itself, right? So they say this idea of order coming from chaotic makes sense. That's the fallacy. If we look at that, this contradictory position that we are in is a conscious, deliberate will or act of creation which put me in this position in order to look for the ways of solving my distraction. It means being mortal and failing in this world and looking for the source of this feeling. From where I got that I should be immortal? From where I got the idea that there should be no contradiction in my being between my feelings, and as the poet said, reality that I'm experiencing. Right? So this word here, shadow, it's a reflection. We can say this shadow is a tool. It's a, I would use a word here, it is a ladder that I can use and climb up to another level of existence that makes me feel that yes, this sense calls me, drives me, really urges me to look for the source of this sense. And the one who gave you existence, gave you this desire for you to look for it. So God is not only the creator, because we said that this text is taken from the book series of the book. This is the fourth volume, right? This is the fourth volume. So we should be careful. The first, the second, the third, densely concentrated on the evidence, the reasoning, whatever, all the means to establish that there is a creator. This universe cannot exist by itself. From many aspects. Now it is time, okay, if there is a creator, how can I make sense of my contradiction within my own being? That's why we are studying here. So this is the shadow. That's one step. This feeling is a shadow of the quality, one quality of the creator, that this creator gave you the desire for eternity. It means he is the one who gave you this desire for eternity in order to look for the solution in his being the creator. My creator must be eternal and satisfy this desire. That's why he gave me this desire, to get to know him, that he is an eternal one. If I didn't have this concept, I would never know that God is eternal. This concept wouldn't exist from the beginning. So this methodology is important. Do you get the importance of this methodology? Because when we look at ourselves, we shouldn't jump suddenly to the conclusion that I want this and it doesn't happen, so this creation or my existence or my creator is horrible. He is torturing me. If there is a creator, he is torturing me. And I can think of a creator who creates something or somebody and tortures his creatures. I can think of a creator like that. So there is no creator. And at the superficial level, it seems to be making sense. At the superficial level. So if there was a creator, he would really, a conscious creator, he wouldn't torture me. But I find myself in a torture, being tortured, or in a sorrowful position that never can be solved, my problems. The methodologically, this approach is important, very important. So this is, it shows that, as you said, as you read it here, he is the one is absolutely perfect, and we need to go and understand that we have to develop our understanding that he is eternal. Yeah. So the perfection is from him. This sense is given to me by him in order to know him. If someone finds any way to satisfy this desire for eternity within the universe, then there is no need for this person to believe in God, because you solved their problem. That's it. So that's how it is. But it's not the case. Do you get this point? You look there.
I think I was confused with the part where you said that the contradiction between how you're given feelings. I mean, you were mentioning something about the philosophers. I guess when they do not connect the existence to an absolute source, so you have feelings coming in, you cannot find a way to connect it to like I don't know how to say this, like a permanent source. And because of that, you cannot go on about finding your reality, which is in you. You have the ability to do that. So I feel, so that's like an hindrance for you to get in tune with your reality. Is that what the point you were making about the...
From this contradictory position within myself, I found the qualities of my creator, that he is the absolute one. If someone doesn't see that these feelings are given to us deliberately in order to know the source of the existence of this feeling, say, and ignore the source of the existence of this feeling and attribute this feeling to his own being without thinking, that's the, of course, lacking or missing base for the thinker. So my being is contradictory, and the existence of the universe is also contradictory. It seems to be within a perfect order, but at the same time, the order destroys itself. It's contradictory. I understand. So there is no purpose, conscious will behind it. So they say to believe in God is nothing, but makes sense to believe that the order came accidentally into existence. It means out of chaos.
Okay.
That everything was jumbled and something happened and the laptop formed itself in the perfect sense and working now.
So not
It's
realizing.
accidental.
Okay. So not realizing that the order itself is contingent.
Yeah, and its contingency points to a source, that this source is calling human consciousness to acknowledge that the one who gave you existence is asking you, inviting you, that he is not only the creator, he is the eternal one. And your need for eternity is given to you by him. So if you connect your need for eternity to his eternity, then you say, okay, I am given this need in order to get to know the quality of my creator. So I have to attach all, or if you like, I have to expect my creator to satisfy this need, because he can, because he's the eternal one. Now I realize that he's the eternal one.
And he's the one who gave me the need.
So I should think about it. So he must be the one who gave me my existence. So my being completely enabled to satisfy any of my needs, but at the same time, my having endless wants, needs, is a deliberate act, not a failure. It's a deliberate act to call me to get to know who my creator, who the source of my existence, who the source of my existence, right? That's how I can get to know my creator. Otherwise, with his qualities, of course, if I wasn't in this contradictory position, I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't be aware of their existence even. So I wouldn't know who my owner is, who my creator is, really. So I would say, I just happen to be like this. So I have to utilize the senses that given to me.
So the contradiction really occurs when you don't know where these senses are coming from, and yet
No,
you are
excuse
looking
me.
for... I'm sorry.
Let me interrupt.
Yes.
Not when you don't know, when you don't question. When you don't question the source of existence of these desires. So without questioning, you cannot know. If you don't wonder why I have these desires, you wouldn't investigate. If you don't investigate, even you might have heard from the culture saying that God is the creator, God is eternal. Your tongue says, but not your heart, not your belief, really. It is just a cultural thing, if you like. So we have to question. I have this sense, what is the source of existence of this sense? What? Where did I get it? We have to always ask this. This is the fundamental question.
So when we realize after questioning where the source of our feelings are coming from, after
Yeah.
you have realized if it's coming from an eternal source, but at the same time, I don't feel satisfaction about, I don't know, I'm trying to understand where the contradiction lies. Is that the reason why? Like you want to be eternally, I don't know, like I want to see it clearly. I don't know. I'm sorry. We can just
But
So okay. So I know that okay, I have these desires, and after questioning, I come to conclude. I mean, I realize that okay, it's coming from an eternal source, and so with that, I connect my desires to the absolute source. I mean,
to acknowledge it. First, see the contradiction and question the source of this impossible to fulfill, how do you say, impossible to accomplish desires in the universe, not only you, no one, nothing accomplished this. And rather than just jumping to conclusion and saying that in both senses, God creates, or saying that conclusion, the jumping to the conclusion, this universe and my existence has in its own being the contradiction. So this contradiction is a good evidence that chaotically it happened to be in this way,
okay,
not by a conscious choice. So we shouldn't jump to the conclusion. We have to question the source of existence of this desire. Do you get it?
So my existence, when I get to know, okay, I belong to an absolute eternal source, and then I also realize that the universe is in existence, but then
But you have your desires as well. So speak about your desires now related to the subject. Your desire for immortality, your desire for perfection, right?
Yes.
Your desire for and being unhappy with being mortal.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where did you get these desires? How come that they exist? Question this. Without questioning, you cannot come to a conclusive or logical conclusion, neither in belief in God nor in denying God at all, without questioning the source. So can you find a source of your desires, existence of your desires? There is nothing here. So where did I get them? So they are deliberately put in my being. They make sense. So you can say, the one who gave me my existence, put me desire. So the solution here, put me in my existence, this desire. Solution here, the author starts foundations. This is the means for you to get to know that your creator is immortal. He wants you to acknowledge him as the only immortal one. If you could find any way to satisfy your desire for immortality in this world, then you wouldn't need God. So God is not only the creator, but also the eternal one, absolute one. When you say this, yeah, it must be so, because he is the creator of the desire. And I cannot attribute the existence of this to desire to anything in this world. I cannot attribute the existence of anything to this world. And this desire is not the source of contradiction. It's source of the means of acknowledging the creator's other attributes as well. Not only the creator, but the eternal one as well. Okay, start from here.
Okay.
And then.
So I get that that God created us with certain weaknesses and missing parts,
Needs,
things that we to guide us to seek Him. So we're mortal, we seek the immortal. We're weak, we seek the omnipotent. We have needs, we seek the one that can fulfill them. Okay. Say we do eventually get them. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Right? One day we will be immortal. Right? I mean, that's the point, right?
no,
What then? I mean,
it's not
well,
the important.
no. I mean, that's the whole point.
No,
We're
it's not
seeking
the
it.
whole point.
No. I mean, yes, there's a journey, but then you are seeking that light at the end. You're not just going to be journeying on forever,
No.
right? When you do get them, what's to say that you suddenly, well, you know what? I actually want more. I mean, isn't that human nature?
More what? More.
I don't know. Something else
More
will come
than
up. Something else will come up, won't
So,
it?
but I think we need to pay attention to the point as we were discussing. Whatever more you want is not yours. It is given to you. Because you have to question the source of this wanting more. We have to question the source of existence of this wanting, whatever more you think. You have to question this. Where did I get this? Because you cannot create, nothing can create that need. That's what we have to establish first. Can we find any source which is sufficient that will give existence to my need for anything, more or less, whatever? So we have to question those, the source of existence of those needs.
But I won't need God at that point.
What?
Like I'm immortal now, right?
No, but you are immortal, but you want immortality.
No. I'm saying, say you reach
That's
that
your
point.
reality.
Say you reach that point in where you are immortal.
No, just a minute.
Wait.
Just a minute. This is where you cannot become immortal for yourself. Your existence is attached or coming from, or makes sense only if you attribute your existence to the immortal creator.
Okay, but
That makes sense
but
now.
then the Quran says that you will become immortal.
You doesn't say you will become immortal. It says, I will give you eternal existence, eternal life, eternal happiness. That is his promise he will give. You can't become immortal. You know that you are always in need of being given existence. You don't jump. Just you are always in need of being given existence for anything, not only for your sense of eternity or immortality, anything. For even one of your atoms in your body, material thing, you need to be given. Otherwise, nothing can guarantee that they will give you the cell in your body. Investigate the world. Everything needs to be given existence. Nothing can be the source of existence of anything. Investigate it with the ability you are given. That's why we are created with great senses, emotions, everything, in order to use them to question. But unfortunately, I understand that this lady is in line. So I understand. Unfortunately, we see a lot of problems in our life. We think that we cannot solve them as a result of failure. That's very important. That's very important for the side of believers and also unbelievers, but mostly for the side of believers. Rather than using our human qualities given to us for a purpose, as believers will say that we are created by God, because I cannot really explain my being in another way. Okay, simple. Okay, I believe in God. Rather than questioning the reason, the wisdom in the existence of human inquiries by using their senses, desires. What we do, the easy way, send it to God and finish. I believe in God and I'm done. Does it solve the problem? That is the section we are going to read. It doesn't solve any problem. It just makes you look dumb. That's why people say religious belief is dogma. Why? Religious belief in itself is not dogma. We make it look dogma. Because we say, God, everything is God, God, God. And then in our life, we struggle, we really worship the world. But say God, but worship the world. Because we don't know how to utilize, how to manipulate our human senses as created by the Creator. The source of it is lack of questioning. The existence, source of existence of these senses. Because it needs elaboration, reflection. So don't jump to the conclusion. Follow step by step. Question as a human being. And then the reasoning, in order to get the right answer, satisfactory answer for your questions, should lead to satisfaction in your conclusion. That's why I believe that my Creator must be absolute, must be infinite, must be immortal. So my being, my existence, my senses make sense in terms of his being absolute. As far as our subject is concerned now, we refer to immortality of the Creator. This is given to me to get to know that my Creator is immortal. So that seems to be simple. In practice, we see rarely that this step of, or this process of reasoning practiced neither by believers nor by atheists. Shortcut. Since I want immortality, since this universe seems to be working perfectly now, it is self-destructive, because really, they say that thermodynamics, law two of the entropy is in the universe. It's self-destructive. So the order cannot be the order because it is self-destructive. So it is out of chaos. It's exactly like a person. It's a dogma, not a result of a real reasoning. It's a dogma. It's not like saying that God created the world in this way. That's it. And it is transient. It is self-destructive. That's the will of God. Why? I don't know. Go and ask that. But you have the question. And you have to answer the question in this world. And you have to confirm your conclusion under the evidence of your own reasoning. So religion cannot be dogma. But on the contrary, any atheistic philosophy doesn't acknowledge the creator has to be dogmatic. Do you understand this contradiction? Religion cannot be dogmatic and dogma, but atheistic philosophy is bound to be dogmatic. If they really question, they cannot really come to the or reach the same jump. They jump. Like the some believers, the people who don't think, jump to the conclusion that God created it like this. I don't know. So we are trying, not today only, in our own classes, we always try to avoid from jumping to the conclusion. Even we prohibit to speak from God's perspective. So that when you start speaking God's perspective, you cannot solve any problem. Methodologically is essential. So you have to look from your perspective. For example, he says God suffices me because God says God suffices me, so I would say God suffices me. Doesn't make sense. Okay, the question.
Your discussion about the contradiction that philosophers experience reminded me a quote by Sigmund Freud. He was an
Whatever the name, we don't usually mention the name.
He says that whatever we do in this world to keep ourselves busy is to delay thinking about death. And because we want to be immortal, but this will not happen. This makes sense about him, but I was feeling the same way. I mean, I believe in God, I believe in afterlife, but sometimes I was feeling about the same way. But now I'm realizing that as much as I'm delaying questioning about this immortality, I feel
The sense
same
of
way.
immortality.
The sense of immortality, my heart suffers, and I feel the same way.
So now it must make sense to you that if you like, don't take it personally, your previous understanding and this person's philosopher's understanding were equally the result of a shortcut thinking, not thinking really, just jumping to the conclusion. Does it make sense? Look, suffer. Sorry?
I didn't understand what you said. The end of the.
I see. If someone says, well, God is going to give me eternal life because God says in his sacred book that he's going to give me eternal life, but that's one person, believing person. The other one says, just we keep ourselves busy in this world in order to delay the reality that we are going to face inevitably at the end, that immortality, death is approaching. We keep ourselves with the world. That is a psychological explanation or the reason behind the psychological reason behind our keeping ourselves busy with this world, to delay, to ignore the reality of death. That we close our eyes for our future. It means both are wrong. Both attitudes are wrong. Shortcut in thinking. Shortcut. jumping without really going right step by step, step by step. That's your thing. So, yeah.
This discussion is, I found very stimulating, and a thought occurred to me in one of our many previous discussions. We were talking about death as not being the signaling for non-existence, but the passing from one stage of existence to another.
Mhm.
So, with that thought, I'm recalling, it sounds like there is a thought that death is something to be afraid of, that after death there's nothing. But this is what reminded me of a previous discussion, that really death is not to be afraid of, that it is not the end of one's existence. You're just passing from one physical state to another. The other thought that's sprung out of this discussion
But
is,
can you keep the other thought for the second part
Okay.
of it?
Yeah.
So we have to ask the question, how can we conclude that death is a transformation rather than the end of my existence? And how am I going to be given eternal life? This part is studying that. It says, this, not one, not desiring death, and really rejecting death. Death, no, I shouldn't die means I shouldn't disappear from existence. Because if I don't accept the creator and the purpose in my existence, I would say death is the end of my existence, because I cannot really refer my existence to anything other than the universe itself. So in the universe, I have never seen anybody resurrecting. Yeah. What? 3 days resurrection of Jesus is just, okay, 3 days, if then he died again. This is what I mean. It doesn't matter for 3 days appearing in this world and disappearing. Doesn't solve the problem. Okay.
but as long as you do not deny your connection to the absolute source,
It means, now I'm sorry, but it means what the text is starting off his argument by saying that this desire for the eternity is deliberately given to me to understand that the giver of this desire is himself, is eternal and promising you. Look for the eternity. You will not find the eternity, immortality in this world, but you have to look for the eternity, and you understand that it is me who is calling you. I created the sense in you for eternity, because you cannot really attribute your sense, the existence of yours, to anything other than the creator of the whole universe. So that's the only way. No other way, because as we understand that we refer to it as well, in almost in each of our class says, look, belief that the Quran offers to us is based on first and foremost, primarily, la ilaha. It means there is no source of existence of this sense. You cannot attribute it. I cannot attribute the source of existence of my body, my form of my body, the qualities of my physical qualities of my body. Neither can ever attribute the source of existence of any of my senses to anything in this universe. No one can say that, this source or given existence because of this in this universe. No, you can't. So first, there is no source for the existence of this sense. The second step, where did I get it? Question. Third, the one who gave existence to the whole universe and me in it, made me, if you like, disabled me, or disabled the whole universe to be the source of existence of anything. So that we can really have hope in anything else, then all hope lies in the creator of the whole universe. So he is introducing himself to me. So I have to be wise enough to acknowledge this reality. So, yes, I can easily say that my creator is promising me so that he is immortal, and by giving this sense to me, he is asking me, inviting me to acknowledge him as the source of immortality. It is a call so that I will refer my desire for immortality to the immortal one. Otherwise, I will feel in despair and I cannot make sense that why am I in despair in this world? Yeah, that is the reason for some philosophers to conclude that this is a contradiction in creation, so there is no purpose in creation. That's another end. So we say, no, can't be. Because of the source of existence of the whole universe is the one who gave me this sense. So it means he is not the creator only, but he is the immortal, eternal being at the same time. I understand in my own existence or through my own existence.
If I understand right, there may be some questions that one cannot answer in one's lifetime.
No, that you can. Otherwise, why do you have the questions?
All right.
Why do you have the questions if
But
you cannot? Who said that? Where did you get these
No,
questions?
no. The existence of the question itself,
Yeah,
if I understand right, is the signal
yeah.
of God calling you,
The creator's calling.
Creator's calling you.
Yeah. Okay. Everything.
Right.
So it says we are narrow, our narrow mind,
Limited.
limited.
Yeah.
So I cannot answer this question. So I cannot answer this question. Why do I have it then? Why the one who gave me existence gave me the ability to answer this question then? Do you think my creator, look at my body, look at my senses, stupid to give me something that I don't know? I cannot really use it and ignore it. To be wasteful? Do you see any waste in the universe? So it is a contradiction. It is a lazy way of just not thinking seriously and not utilizing one's human qualities in order to know his own creator, her own creator. So it is not modesty to say that, no, of course we cannot answer all questions. It looks very modest, very religious as the truth. But it is stupidity. These are all given to you to find out the source of this question and refer it to him and get to know him. Then you understand that the maker, my creator, is really wise. He is really giving me the way out to solve my problem. But not the easy way saying that without questioning, without really working on the question and getting to know your creator, saying that, no, I don't know. God made it. God knows. But I can refer it to God after asking the question and utilizing it. And it will be not a prejudice or dogma. It will be my rationally confirmable conclusion. Your second? Do you still keep it or forget it? Sorry, why? Because you're right. I don't
second
want to
thought-
jump from one to another,
I
and
understand,
without
yes.
establishing the first.
Right. The second thought was something else that sprung from the conversation.
Yeah.
That one also has to investigate
Hmm.
the wisdom of the desire.
Yeah.
Not all desires are
Or
going
the
to be.
wisdom in the existence of
Yeah.
that desire. Wisdom in the existence of that desire in me that I'm consciously aware of.
Okay. Then that sort of like eliminates my second thought.
Yeah.
Because originally I thought, well, if you're investigating your desires, first you have to figure out some way as to whether or not your desire is a healthy one. Not all human desires are necessarily going to lead you. This is an assumption that not all desires are necessarily going to lead you to something that's actually going to help you or is going to make you realize that this is something that you actually want.
Now,
Do
this
you
is
sort of follow with what I'm
this is
trying
a
to say?
slippery area because we confuse with the, for example, let's say, desire for doing some good things that everyone says it is good, even the religious texts, the scriptures say it is good, and desire for doing something wrong. We are not at this level. So the existence of the desire. So not necessarily that I have chosen, I used my free will and have chosen the wrong alternative, that my choice is responsible about making right or wrong alternative. Without going there, come to the beginning, to this, the existence of the desire itself is a call for us to acknowledge the creator of this desire and connect my desire to him to satisfy. I cannot satisfy.
So this is all before the judgment of what is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I start using my free will to apply it in this world, in this way or in another way. So we are talking, mostly we talk at the level of existence. So afterwards, practically, whether you, for example, we have a desire to be lazy. Yeah. And we know that laziness is not good. Yeah. But we have the free will to choose to be lazy. Most of the time I do. Do you? Nah, he's always on top of the things. So, anything else? All right. Shall we carry on for another? Will you answer? But this is the foundations of it. That's why we need to stay on it because it changes the, if you like, template of my thinking, the model of my thinking. Unfortunately, we are always exposed to really, not with small exceptions, but especially nowadays, what we are exposed mostly simply into an assumption of religion in the form of dogma. So, in order to justify it, what we do usually, philosophy itself is dogma as well. Now, it can be dogma. It doesn't justify me to follow dogma. So I cannot really make an excuse of somebody else's mistake. Maybe if someone is not truthful, is not after the truth, after the reality, may rely in a covered up dogma. Covered up dogma. People realize that philosophy is based on dogma. Yeah? But how about yourself? How about yourself? You should never follow dogma. It must make sense to you. Not because, my religion says so, it must be so. No, it doesn't so. You have to convince yourself by using the abilities given to you, because really think about our abilities is endless. We are perfect creatures. We are perfect beings. You cannot count the senses you are given. Experience within yourself, because this can be only realized through experience. You cannot count it. You have a lot of humanity is, because in this age, usually the human beings are reduced to their body existence, physical existence. So they can say that we can solve human problems. They can only deal with the biological, physical disorder in the body. But emotions, no one can touch them. It's with you. No one can touch them. When you go to a psychotherapist or psychologist, they say, okay, tell me about your childhood, how your parents were treating you.
He gets paid for that.
This is a very easy way of calming down somebody, saying that because of your parents, you are like this. Don't worry about it. It's their burden. Throw it on them. Are you studying psychology? Yeah, you are laughing. So it means that they have solved the problem. But
That's
some of
it.
No, I don't think people is that way.
no. I mean, that's the general trend,
Yeah,
that we
you're right.
solve the problems by attributing one thing in this world to another thing in this world. Yeah, even the psychological problems, attributing it to the chemical reactions. Yes, it may be true. I believe that. Because if I really put something, not I cut my finger, it believes, I say, because I cut my finger, that's why it's bleeding. But the bleeding, the creation of bleeding, how it came into reality, the existence of it. So it must be attributed to, ultimately, I'm jumping, to the creator of the universe. That's how the order has been set for a purpose. There's a wisdom. There's a wisdom. For example, yeah. So when you cut, when it bleeds. So they see that most of the time we think that we solved the problem because we said, okay, when you cut, it bleeds. That's it. So if, for example, brain lacks phosphor or has a lot of more than necessary aluminum, then it causes certain psychological disorder. They say, I solved the problem. But who arranged this order? How come they are related to each other? There's an order. And how can we solve the problem? How can we do it? And what is the purpose in the existence of this disorder? Do you understand? Who arranged that? And I am curious. I want to cure. How come that I am aware of a need to cure it? How come that I investigate the power, the quality to investigate the cure? How come? The source of existence, never forget the expression. Source of existence of anything that human beings has or are given. The human beings have or are given. I mean, if you think that I have it by myself, welcome, but I can't. So I can say that I have it my own senses by myself. Did you have your senses yourself? Just you are given your senses, given. So you have to look for the source. Who gave it to you? What gave it to you? What gave them to you? So it is not that simple, but not really complicated that we cannot make sense of it. But just be calm, just don't take the easy way. I feel that most of the time we don't want to think, especially about the matters related to religion. About the matters related to religion, we just take it for granted. Yeah. We are slaves of God. That's it. Oh, what a beautiful word. Yeah? So we cannot claim anything for God. Whatever he does, he knows what he's doing perfectly. And I have to concentrate on making money in this world and thinking that I am really preparing my future. For we don't want to see that the future is the grave. Yeah, ultimately. But this is not the way of being a religious man. It is only the way of being a lazy man. Yes, sir. It's full.
So the second point that caught my attention was him saying, I had an innate desire for immortality, directed not to my own mortality, but to the existence, perfection, and immortality of the absolutely perfect one.
Mm.
And my question is,
The question, I thought you were going to help us understand the text.
well, hopefully that helps
Everybody's
too.
coming with a question. Okay, it's good. Good. The question is good. Question is really the best thing.
It's good.
But no one guarantees the answer. But questions are sacred to me. Not the belief is sacred, questions are sacred. Belief is the result of the questions. If you don't have the sacred source, you cannot have a sacred result, conclusion. So we have to have a
But
sacred.
that there is always answer in the world for all questions.
There must be an answer for all questions. Yeah. Look for it, search for it, but never take the existence of the question for granted, and attribute it to yourself. Question, that one. Can I say that this question, the source of the ability to ask this question is me? Question there. It's like question the existence of the question. Then you will always see that your creator has enabled you with these qualities and calling you to know who he is, who is your maker, who your maker is. Yeah.
So my question is, he says, I have this desire that I cannot deny for the wanting of immortality.
Mhm.
But then he says, this desire is not directed to my own immortality, but to the immortality of the creator.
Must be directed. Because you cannot solve it if you don't if you direct it to your own immortality, how can you secure your immortality? You can't. So it must be used as a means of acknowledging that your creator is immortal.
Okay, so so basically he's realizing two things. He has a need for immortality, but at the same time, the solution cannot be in himself because obviously he's incapable of immortality.
Yeah.
So by then, and because I mean, if he was, then the problem is solved. And then so this is the only reason why he's referring it or directing it to. So basically, I want a creator who's immortal to exist. I
So
need
that
him to
attribute,
exist.
in order to be able to explain my existence.
And to
including
solve the problem of wanting
Yeah.
immortality.
So see the wisdom in your existence. So this is not accident. This is not accident that you exist. It is not accident that you and I exist. It is not an accident that my desire for immortality exists. No accident. They are all ultimately serving to get to know who my creator is. The whole universe, the order of the whole universe has been established really, really for me. You also think about it, for me, in order to realize that the ultimate, inevitable, logically provable, confirmable conclusion is there is no source of existence in this world. That is the phrase, La ilaha. So the source of existence of everything in this world is the one who gave existence to the world, God. Nothing, no way for a human being to conclude any better conclusion or any acceptable conclusion than this. So we find that this challengingness is only presented to humankind by revelations, by scriptures, through the prophets. Only the prophets say La ilaha illallah and explain the existence of everything in these terms. That's why this is the backbone of my religion, your religion, or if you say that I follow a religion, if it is based on the consciousness, awareness of the content of the phrase La ilaha illallah, that's true. If it is not just saying it, and as a result of an general conclusion seems to be, okay, your belief also seems to be. But that quantity, that's what we have to struggle for always. Complete La ilaha illallah. The whole universe seems to be contradictory within itself. You know, perfect order is destroying itself, right? Human beings as well. Perfect desire, but cannot do anything to preserve, protect, to preserve. Cannot do anything. This seeming contradiction appears in the phrase La ilaha illallah. They say there's no God but God. Contradictory, seems to be. Exactly reflects the reality of this universe. So we see no source of existence of anything in this world, but the things exist. Yeah, everything exists, but there's no source of existence of this. How can I explain it? So I logically, I am locked, if you like, into the conclusion that there is a creator of this universe, and everything in it is created to draw the conscious being's attention to himself and attach his existence to him. That's what we are here for, I understand. And I am here to get to know who my owner is, who my Lord is. Yeah, that's the foundation.
I have a comment on this. Actually, going back to Ihab's question about. So I really like when he says directed not to my own immortality, because it's also very realistic to come to the conclusion that it's not really that I want to become immortal. It's obvious that I cannot. I want to be given immortality. And that answers the question of, so when I become immortal in heaven, as God has promised, if it's not what he's promised, and then why do I need God anymore? It's On the one hand, I need the immortality, but on the other hand, I obviously can see that there would not be a case where I become the creator, where I can just sustain my own. I will forever, heaven or no heaven, be always dependent on him.
So not on me, the others. Not on me.
Yeah.
So it depends on something else. So that's why this verse says, for us, God suffices. Why? If you find him, he suffices. You understand that. If you don't find him, you are in trouble. Whether you are religious or not, you are in trouble. Okay? So I think we have to stop here. The second part of this insight of belief, shadow of divine name, mystery of angel. Yeah, I think we can follow from there onwards. Yeah, inshallah. Thank you. It's too late. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.